We're back.
Critics attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words that make...
Good evening, welcome to nufc Matters with me, Steve Wraith. It is the fans forum and we are live. And then I've had that many messages going, oh my God, when he is back, I'm having to watch Arsenal, Manchester United podcast. I'm sick of this. It's no good, this. But unfortunately, the pre-records, although we had people watching them, people just prefer the lives, which is nice, which is great. But unfortunately, I do have work to do as well. The 8 days dragged for me as well because I did miss talking about Newcastle. Unfortunately, I had to spend most of my time talking to people on the film set about Newcastle. It's not quite the same when you haven't got the live chat. So welcome back, everybody. Fans Forum tonight. And, of course, Newcastle playing tonight, Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, the next game in Group F for us. We will come to that. We'll keep an eye on the team news, which will be out in about 15 minutes. Of course, when you have time off, there's so many things happen in a short space of time at Newcastle now, whether it's injuries, whether it's games that have been played. Newcastle United, of course, playing in the Carabao Cup against Manchester United and getting a wonderful 3-0 win. I'm sure if we can squeeze that in, we will. But let's go back to Arsenal at the weekend, George. Wow. That's a game against one of our rivals now. And ultimately, I must say this, there's Spenny back in. Tom Lynch is in Germany. Says just a very quick hello from the Westfalen Stadion. The Alta Market in Dortmund was jumping. There are thousands and thousands here. The locals are blown away by how many of us are here. Tom, have a great night, mate. Thanks for tuning in. And enjoy your time in Germany and stay safe, mate. But thanks.
Team news is out now, Steve.
Team news is out now, yes, as well. There we go. Pope, Trippier, Lascelles, Shaw, Hall, Guimaraes, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Livramento, Willock, and Wilson. So there we go.
Gordon on the bench.
Well, yeah, it means we've got a bit of a shock factor on the bench, I guess. But Trippier, you would imagine, looking at that lineup, it's hard to say what kind of formation is he going for. Lascelles and Shaw are definitely going to be in the middle. You would imagine Trippier is going to play a right back, Hall's going to play a left back, and you would imagine that Guimaraes, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Willock, and Livramento is going to make up your midfield, and you're going to have Wilson up front on his own.
5-4-1 or so 4-5-1.
Yeah, but you certainly think Livramento is going to have a midfield role here. You would imagine him looking at that. Well, it is because there's no Almiron in there. So Livramento on the right hand side to back up Trippier. On the left hand side, you would imagine he's going to go with Joe Linton and with Hall. Yeah. And then you've got your three, Guimaraes, Longstaff, and Willock, and then you've got Wilson up top. I mean, that's it. It's again still a good team, when you look at that formation. Well, look, let's look at that now because we've got the team there now. I thought it would probably come out about 1:45, so there we are. It's out already. George, let's look at that before we go back to the weekend's fixture.
Yeah.
What's your first thoughts when you see that team today?
Well, from a point of view of watching the game last week with them, he's picked a team that'll counteract how they play. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a team that's set up to stop them doing what they did to us at St James's Park, because they did a number on us, whether we like it or not. They did. I mean, that's the first time I've seen an opposing team mark a raid back out of the game, because that's what they did. They were frightened of Trippier and they marked them out of the game. Well, I think what he's done is he's picked a team where Trippier and Livramento can do their thing, alternatively if necessary. And I'm pleased to see the laddie Hall get in at left back as well. He looks a star performer, and I'm I'm quite taken with that side, actually. I think it's a side that's set up to beat the team that we're facing tonight. And I think they probably could. And if you want impact off the bench, you've got 200 mile an hour people sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
With Gordon and Miggy to run the legs off them as it gets later, because they're flagged like I thought they would at St James's Park. The German league isn't a top game every week like the Premiership is. It's a bit like the French. They have about half a dozen good teams and the rest are so they don't get a workout every week. Well, I thought they were blown a little bit at St James's. And what two better players to put on in the last 20, 15 minutes to give them a run around, but Miggy and Gordon. So I like that team, Steve. I like that team.
Yeah, big shout out to Paul Chollerton as well. He says, I've just met Mitch and Stu in the square, two top lads. So there you are, George. So far, so good. Your son is still alive and well in Germany.
I've just been looking at photos on my phone.
Fantastic. Great stuff. I hope you have a great time as well. Paul, stay safe, mate. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for dropping in and saying hello as well. Great to have so many Newcastle fans and nufc Matter fans out there in Germany, and still managing to tune in before they go into the game. Okay, here we go. We never know what we're going to get from Ian. He does always forewarn us, about whether he's taking the afternoon off, which he did today. No surprise. But Ian, what did you make of it?
I didn't take the afternoon off just in case Emily watches it back, which she won't do, but just in case. I didn't.
Go on, mate. What do you make of the team?
I've been to the gym. Right, the team. Well, in all honesty, I would have never expected that team. But now I'm looking at it, I think that team is built to counter-attack. That team, I think he'll stick with our formation. He'll stick with a 4-3-3. I'm really, actually, to be fair, like I would not have picked that team, but now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that is a good team to play against them, because they are slow at the back. Let's be honest, certainly through the middle, and I think Livy dovetailing obviously with trips, that'll work really well. I think it could do something, but I would have never ever. Well, I didn't pick that team; it was way off that team, And I'm glad Hall's getting a start as well, because I actually think he deserves it, and so does Livy. So I'm like Tino. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do. And listen, whatever we do, is it's been forced into making a lot of changes, and we've still got a team out there that I think can win today. Whatever happens, we'll go out and we'll give it a good go. So I'm pretty buzzing with that. And okay. By the way, I've put my favourite shirt on for today, just for the ladies out there. You know what I mean? I had to get my dad's old shoe on out to get the bugger on. Like, I've got to admit.
What you is your 2-year-old stop that?
It's a
2-year-old stop.
It's a little bit tight. It's a little bit tight around the mammary glands, if you know what I mean. So
we do. We do. Okay, Spenny, thoughts on that team, mate?
I'm excited to see that team. I agree with George. He's playing it so they can beat Dortmund. It's great to see a manager put out a team for a specific match to win the game. I'm looking forward to Livramento playing with Chippy on that side. I think it's got great potential. Hall, especially, I think will change with Joe Linton like he did last season. Swap with the left and go into the middle like he did last season. They used to playing with each other, which will support Wilson as well. So I'm very pleased with that team, and he's got a few young ones on the bench. So it just shows we can change things like a big important game like that. And I'll back Eddie all the way he did, especially with that, the way he did Arsenal as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the subs. I mean, the subs there. Dubravka carries 2 goalkeepers. Dummett, of course, who has done well when he's come in, like most people. Lewis Miley recovered from his bout of illness. De Boer is a name which we're not used to seeing in the first team pool. And Parkinson. Parkinson
Star
as well.
player.
Yeah, he is. He scored it last week for the young ones. I saw his goal. It was a good goal and all. Parkinson's not bad either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got Parkinson in there as well, who of course is another youngster, who is certainly hoping to progress. Parkinson is another one, but yeah, interesting.
Carriers come on centre forward.
Yeah, strength and depth, strength and depth is definitely something we did have at the at the start of the season, but unfortunately injuries just seem to be piling up, which which we always thought would happen. Darren, good evening, mate. What's your thoughts on the team then?
Well, I'm quite happy with it, to be fair, because Eddie's like thinking a bit of if we might get beat, he's thinking about we're not going to get embarrassed, so he's clever. But he's tactically, he's quite clever because they're going to come on to us, and they got beat the weekend, so a counter attack, and they'll be drilled what to do and how to play. So again, I think Eddie does a tactical genius again. Just might have a chance of winning. You know what I mean? You never say never, but go across there and give it a roll and see what happens.
Thing is, Darren, I think Dortmund's drilled their team against the team they think they're going to play, and he just gazumped them totally for that team.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like you say. You said I didn't expect Lewis Hall to play there, but no, I think he likes a proper left back in that role. You know what I mean? I'm happy with, like you say, you have Joe Linton and Willock swapping, because I prefer Willock on the left, attacking left, and Joe Linton. I think Joe Willock is much more better going forward on that left hand side. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean?
I've never seen Daz as surprised as when he looked at that team sheet as the last time he bought me a pint in the Gallagher. The old bods were in then.
There were interesting selection though. Yeah, I would agree. I think Tino has deserved his place in the team. After his performances in the last couple of games, he's done absolutely brilliantly. And to see Hall in at left back, it's a great opportunity from the blood the two youngsters. But I guess we're looking back to the Manchester United game. It's a good opportunity to say why these two players have been trusted with the job tonight, George, because those two players really excelled against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. And this wasn't against a Manchester United team that had rested key players. This was against some of their best players, if not, the best players that they had available that night. Casemiro, who, has been a bit of a nemesis for Newcastle since he signed for Manchester United, is now, he started last week's game, but Tino and Hall did fantastically well last week. And this is a reward for them, I guess.
Well, the Manchester United game, I don't know if you've seen me tweet, but I tweeted to everybody and said that, in fact, and did WhatsApp as well, and said, is how trying to give this game away when I saw the team. And then when I seen how they performed, I mean, out of their skins, who would have put money on Dummett and Kraft being a centre-back partnership that would play like that? Not a chance. And that Wednesday game, Eddie Howe deserves all the plaudits he can get for it. Moving on to Arsenal. Well, the Arsenal game, I like to beat Arsenal. And I like to beat the current Arsenal team very much because they're such a bunch of whingers. And I find that so depressing because when I was a kid, and I know it's a while ago, but people used to talk about the Arsenal, not just Arsenal. It was the Arsenal. And they represented all the things that were good in football, both on and off the football pitch. And if ever anybody's going to hold an open example to you about how to behave and how not to behave and how a club should be run, the Arsenal was the team that was picked up. Well, they're a shambles in comparison now. What an utter disgrace. A manager that went on like he did about the disallowed, or the goal he thinks should have been disallowed, and everything else that went against his team. He seemed to forget in 90 minutes football, 98 minutes football, his team had one shot on goal. Pope had one shot to save. You're not going to win any championships playing like that, Bonnie lad. So that was that. If he's not charged with something, I don't know. And the referee, when they were looking at the issues of the disallowed goal, the rules about not approaching the referee, He looked like he was giving them all a bloody cup of tea. They were so close to him. It was disgraceful how they behaved and got away with it. So, I couldn't have been happier that we beat them. That it's a controversial goal. It's not controversial to me. Did nobody think about the fans in that instance? We're standing there, and it says VAR's looking at a possible ball out. VAR's looking at a possible offside. VAR's looking at a possible foul. That's nearly 6 minutes of bloody agony for people in the stands like me. That's going to ruin football. They need to get that sorted out very, very quickly. So, and onto the football. Jamal Lascelles has excelled is the only way to describe it. If anybody said to me 2 years ago he could come back and perform the way he has, both as a team player and as captain in that team, it's nothing short of a miracle. And all the others, there was 11 heroes on that field for me. Man of the match was very difficult to choose. Gordon might sneak it because he got the goal, but they all put their heart and soul into that. And I like the way they support each other. When Sean Longstaff was sized down by that Havertz, who should have walked, they're all there supporting him, all giving the Arsenal players what for, back off and all that sort of thing. I love that. And there's a togetherness and a firmness in our squad that really will stand in stead for the future. So great win, great atmosphere. Delighted I was there. Delighted to see Arsenal be taken down a peg or two. Confession time. I'm talking about when I was a kid, about the Arsenal. If anybody had said to me, you can't sign for Newcastle when I was a kid, who would you like to sign for? Well, I've got news for you, boys. It would have been the Arsenal, because that's where they were. They were the team that everybody admired. Nothing to admire in that shambles that they've got now. All generated by that silly little Spanish guy. Rant over.
No, good stuff. Good stuff, Judge. Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, just looking back to the Man United game first, Ian, great result that in the Carabao Cup. And you have a feeling, that perhaps, this really could be our year. That's the way to do it. Beat all the big teams before you get the final. And then, hopefully get an easier game in the final. It would be great. But that the selection of Tino tonight and Hall, definitely reward for that, because both of those players were superb last Wednesday.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks as well, Steve, for not making me speak about Arsenal, because
we'll be coming to that. We will be coming to that.
All right. I wouldn't have been as eloquent as George was. And we're well before the watershed here now. So So there's not. I don't think there's. Maybe there is, but I don't think there's a Newcastle United fan before the Man United game that looked at the team sheet and thought, we're going to do this, and we're certainly going to do it in the manner that we did it. Yeah. But what it shows is it doesn't matter who we put out and what position they're in, as long as they've got the tools to do that job, they are now drilled. And again, and it's going to sound a little bit maybe defeatist, but I don't really care. We've got so many injuries. We've got so many people out at the moment that, if we lose a game or two, it's because we're on the bare bones and because the lads are knackered. Eddie's putting out the fittest team that he can to play the best tactics that he can against the team that we're up against. And everybody's just got to think about it and say, we've got how many, I don't know, across the full, the juniors as well. I think something like 16 players that are unavailable, whether they're banned or injured or whatever. We're doing our best, and that's for me that's all we ever asked for, and I think that's flipping brilliant, So the Man United game was a classic. It was a classic for me because the sum of their parts is nowhere near what it should be. Yeah, they've got good players on that pitch. And I hate to say it, you know, the rat-faced little captain of theirs, and you know, like they've got some. I was going to say something else, George. And you know, like they have got some good players, but they're not playing for each other, and they're not playing for the manager. The manager's lost the dressing room there, but it was never about them. It was about us. We went out, we played as a team, and we didn't. And I honestly, probably is my favourite game watching Newcastle United as a team that I've seen, because I never thought that we'd come away with that sort of a victory.
Well, I would say that was probably the performance of the season, you know, after the PSG game. But I mean, we just seem to be saying that week in, week out. I mean, it doesn't happen like some monks do. Ten Hag's doing his best, isn't he, to muck things up with Manchester United. There's no doubt about it. I think he's certainly playing for the sack to get this £15 million.
That looked like Spenny with a wig on. That put it back up again. No.
But the interviews could be underway at Old Trafford for the new manager. So there's Mr. Bean putting himself forward. He couldn't do any worse. The Arsenal game, then, Ian. Tell us your views on that. What was your feeling about that Arsenal game? I mean, I thought it was a great game to watch. Two European challengers going for each other. A bit of banter, a bit of backwards and forwards, a bit of edge to the game, and separated by a goal which I think Newcastle deserved. I think Newcastle edged it. They deserved it, and left Arteta, who was less than complimentary about Newcastle pre-match, but even less complimentary about Newcastle in the decision after the game. Perfect time to bring out these for Arteta, Princess Arteta dummies. But yeah, go and give us your view, mate.
Well, I dubbed Arteta Sharteta because he shits his pants every time he plays against Newcastle, doesn't he? You know what I mean? He's the biggest. I'm trying not to swear here. He's the biggest flipping wet wipe you've ever seen as a manager. He's an embarrassment. Now, just as I said, I've said the last few times I've been on. You know, we are lucky to have Eddie Howe. What quality, class, human being. Forget the football. He's a decent bloke. You'd want to go for a pint with him. You would not go for a glass of rosé with that little person, right, for a start off. So then we'll get on to the game. The ref, for me, how Arsenal fans can complain that the ref gave them nothing is unbelievable, because if you were in that stadium and seen how we did not get the lickings of a dog off that little lad. You know, he gave us no. The whole game changed because he lost control, because he didn't give the rat-faced little skinny twonk a red card when he deserved it. He, like me and Tommy were level 7. So we were like, we're a decent way away from it. And I've got dodgy eyes. And even I seen it was studs up and he went through him. Whether he caught him or not, the intention was there. He went to hurt him. That's a red card. He should have been off. At that point when he didn't send him off, that's the game gone for him, because it's going off then. And people are having a go as well. And I know people on here will probably disagree with us, but people are having a go at Bruno, saying he needs to stay calm and all this stuff. And yeah, he does need to stay calm, but I'm not being funny. If someone came through and sized, George like that, we'd all be after him. Maybe not Daz, definitely not Chippers. You know what I mean? But do you know what I mean? Your teammates and actually, I thought, yeah, Bruno did lose it a bit, but I like that in Bruno anyway. I like it that he sticks up for his mates. I like that, and Big Joe controlled it a lot better, I've got to admit. But anyhow, yeah, no, I thought we outfought them. We scored them, because we scored a good goal, and there was nothing wrong with that goal that I could see. Millimeters in whether it went out or not, but it didn't go out. There was nothing in the foul, not in the foul at all. Kid was nearly on his knees anyway by the time that the Big Joe got to him, and it wasn't offside. End of.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Got 35 minutes to go on the show. We'll have to have the ads in the middle as well, as long as I remember what I'm doing. Good point, this Geordie Tuber. This is the Arsenal podcast I've seen. I've been on. Still thinks that Michael Oliver was on VAR. I've wrote it so many times. He was not on VAR, but it gets ignored. Yeah, they're just creating their own narrative. Good evening, Barry.
Hello, guys. You all right?
Yeah,
Right,
Barry.
good to see you,
Hello,
mate.
mate.
Just a quick review of the team first of all, because you've jumped on a little later. There's your team. Pope, Trippier, Lascelles, Shaw, Hall get to run out tonight. Gamara,
Dave, I think Darren wants to go because he's got
all right.
the match.
Okay, what, are you going now, Darren? Are you? I can't hear you,
You're on
Darren.
there.
It helps if you're not on mute, Darren, so we can hear you. That's it.
You're on mute.
We can hear you now. Can we?
I love the way we shout to see
No,
you.
we can't hear you, Darren. You've gone. You've gone. We'll just say goodbye, Darren. He's gone. He's gone. So there's the team, Barry. Livramento and Hall getting rewarded for last week's game against Manchester United, I guess.
Yep, I think they both proved themselves. They did, especially Livramento had an absolute cracking game. I think he's looking like a future star. So I think that's probably at the minute as we stand the best side we can put out. Absolutely gutted for Big Dan. I think it just again, Steve, like the injury to Anderson, it just shows the look we're having at the minute. You just think, God, are we, how many more injuries are we going to pick up that we're not expecting? So it's, I think he made the right decision taking Wilson off before the end, because obviously it gave him a chance of hopefully not getting injured for tonight, because I think we're going to need him tonight. Yeah, no,
I mean, that Manchester United game, I think we all looked at the team sheet and just thought this team's never going to beat Manchester United, the fact is, and Ian's made the point before you came on, that Newcastle United are so well drilled now. Everybody at that club, when they're called upon to do a job, knows the job that they've got to do, comes in and does it to the best of their ability. And that's why Newcastle are making waves in all competitions at the minute, Barry.
Yeah, I think it does. It's the Eddie Howe factor, isn't it? It's right away across the various teams that we've got. I watched the women's game at the weekend, Steve, and I thought, God, it's as if they've been coached by Eddie Howe at times. He just thought the attacking and the speed they were going forward with, I thought it's another Eddie Howe team. But yeah, I think the young kids know exactly what they've got to do when they come on. They've got his style of play set out. Unlike Steve Bruce, we actually have a plan 1, 2, and 3 now. But I think it'll be a tough game tonight. I do think they're probably the hardest team we've played this season, which says a lot for some of the teams like Arsenal that we've managed to turn over.
What did you make of the Arsenal game?
I was over the moon for us. I think there's so much fuss being made by Arsenal fans and people like old hairy hands and whatnot that it was over the line in this, that, and the other. You just think, how many decisions have we had went against us? VAR wise, where we've had absolute stinkers. It was a good goal. We had other chances to win the game. We had plenty of shouts where we could have won. Kai Havertz. I mean, I've watched that tackle so many times. How he didn't get sent off is beyond me.
Yeah, I'd love to snap that little shit. Me, like I'm not being funny. How I'm going to say this now. The restraint of the fans, our fans, in the stand when he was there, giggling and laughing because I bet there was a few beers consumed and the fans all behaved themselves because he was quite close to them, and I was honestly surprised he didn't get smacked. And that would have been the end of someone's being able to come and watch the team, which is it would be terrible, but like. The bloke's he is a proper knobhead in like he is.
It would have been our complete look if Longstaff had been injured.
Yeah, it is a good job. This show is for over 18s. We never set it for kids, so I never apologise for people's language. It's always up to people how they want to express it. He does occasionally. He does occasionally.
I always think
the best story for me coming out the Arsenal, obviously Arteta was in his tears. And then did you hear the story about the Arsenal under-18 team?
No.
that they were going to play Brighton over the weekend, and they drove down on their bus, this, that, and the other, and got to the ground. And the groundskeeper wouldn't let them in because the driver had gone the wrong way and he'd driven into Bournemouth instead of Brighton. He'd getting 97 miles out of his way.
That's excellent.
I just thought it could only happen to Arsenal.
Spenny, looking at that Arsenal game, I mean, this was brilliant that somebody shared this. October the 6th, they are trying to make the best decisions. We need to understand that mistakes happen. That was Arteta talking about VAR. November the 4th, I feel sick to be part of this. I feel embarrassed. It's an absolute disgrace this goal is allowed. Yeah, look, Arteta's no different to any manager I think that we see and we've come across in recent years. He's very like Klopp was last season. I think Klopp's changed this year. I think somebody's had a word with Klopp and told him that you've got to stop going on like this. I think Arteta has almost replaced Klopp in his, in the way that he goes on.
Worse. He's worse.
It's embarrassing, Spenny, isn't it?
One word for us at the moment: deflection. Deflection from the result.
Yeah.
Deflection of the poor team performance. And he came out there for one reason only and twisted about the referee for deflection of his team performing badly and getting beat.
Yeah.
That's all he's done it for. He's done that. That's all he's done it for. It was a goal. The ball was in. It was off. It wasn't offside. Joe Litton jumped with his hands up, and he didn't even interfere with the ball. It was a goal.
Yeah.
They got beat, and that's all I've got to fucking say about the Arsenal fans.
Go on, Spenny.
They turn into Everton fans for me. Turn into Everton fans, and they have turned into Everton fans because this shows how good our club's getting up that league and how we are performing. Because we're in a different group now, what we used to be in. We're in the Arsenals and Man Cities and Liverpools now, and we're playing and everyone is famous in that league now. Every team in that league is famous, and the European teams, because they don't know what we're going to do. We big team. We big time team us now. Simple as that. And we can turn anybody over in 90 minutes on that pitch. The way we play as a team, the way we managed. You watched the match today on Sunday about what was pointed out. Oh, we play now the right back with the right, and it's all current and hard work done on the training ground. How Newcastle play. It's all achieved on that training ground and performed on the pitch. You just see how it's connected when you see it in front of it. It's unbelievable now.
And Spenny, do you not think as well that whether we win, lose or draw, we're always proud at the end? We might not be happy with the performance. We might not play the best, but whether we win, lose or draw, our management team behave themselves with like decorum. And they always are a credit to the club, unlike a lot of other people. I know you said Klopp's behaved himself this season, but it's only because he's been scabbing a few victories.
What pissed us off, I'll tell you what really pissed us off that game at the end of the game. The Cells went up to the Jorginho to shake his hand and say, look here. And he put his hand away. And that just shows you what shit they are.
Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. You're right. And the other thing, just to compare, you look at the statement of the Tottenham manager after his match.
Right.
What a horrible game he had and had to put up with. And at the end, he just said, well, at the end of the day, you've got to believe the referee. I mean, what a different attitude. What? And he's gone up in my estimation 1,000% after that when I've seen how Arteta behaved. That
George, he's an Aussie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, rubbish.
Be sacked first,
fancy being able to talk like that after 50 years standing on his bloody head.
Going back to the Man United game, Steve, I mentioned the Man United game. I think the Man United manager reminds me of Graham Souness when he went to Newcastle.
Yeah.
He tried to bully his players, tried to be the dominant figure in the Man United staff to make sure the discipline was there, and the discipline went out the window when Souness was there because he was too firm with him. And he's doing exactly the same as he's doing. He's a fucking pin-pot button manager, the rest of them. And they all pin-pot footy clubs as well.
Mm-hmm. I would say this is probably the best tweet that I saw last week after the Manchester United game from Bet365. Dubravka, Kraft, Livramento, Dummett, Hall, Ritchie and Willock. 7 of the Newcastle starting 11 haven't even started a Premier League game this season, yet the Magpies have secured their biggest win at Old Trafford for 93 years. That in itself is the biggest testament
Absolutely.
you can
Absolutely.
give. You can give Eddie Howe. He's getting performances out of every single player. And I'll just do this before I go in the ads. Ref, can we have a new ball? What's wrong with the one you've got? Well, Man City are playing with that one. Well, Newcastle were playing with
by the way, Steve, I ordered a piece when that VAR thing was on. It came before the decision.
Okay, quick break.
Yes.
Here's the ads.
A big thanks to all our sponsors. Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3. Email inquiries at skipsandbins.com. Website skipsandbins.com. Easy contract free and pay as you go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find out more about them from their website, mrvickies.co.uk, or by calling 01768 210 102. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the video side of things. And thanks to United Group Travel, UK coach holiday firm based in Morpeth. There's no strangers on their tours, just people you haven't met yet. They're now taking bookings for 2024. You can call 01670 632 460, 0791 666 4174, or 07957 141 654. Or go to the website unitedgrouptravel.com. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button underneath the video today. We still do 7 shows a week. Hit the thumb up under the video to like it. It does us a big favour. Click share to share to your other social media and let people know about NUFC Matters. We're also a podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to help the show financially, you can take out a £25 one-off membership. You get a scarf, a pen, a cup, and a membership card. How do you get it? Go to nufcmatters.com, look for membership. If you've got a smartphone, then put your smartphone over the QR code and it will take you straight to that section on the website. We also support the food bank on this channel. You can donate to the food bank today by going to nufcfansfoodbank.co.uk. We do support events on this channel as well. If you've got an event, please send it in and we'll promote it. The Tyne Theatre and Opera House are doing a Keegan, Beardsley and Waddle event, the Class of 84, 25th of January 2024. Book now by calling 0844 249 1000. And the Tyneside Irish Centre, they're doing an event with Frank Clark and John Gibson on Thursday, December the 7th. You can get tickets from nufcmatters.com and they are priced at £15. There's also some tickets available on Groupon. Don't forget, you can catch me 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, with Rye, Dave, and Daz on the Northeast Footy Brekkie Show, 7 till 9. And you can catch us on the Red, the Toon, and the Cat, and on Toon Radio's website. WhatsApp us on the day 0330 043 2002, the perfect way to start your day.
Just let you know that Keegan Waddle Beardsley show as well. There is only 40 tickets left, 40 tickets. So if you are intending to go, but you're hanging back, I wouldn't. They'll be sold out within the next week, I would have said.
Are you going, Steve?
I might be there. You never know.
Buy us a ticket, I'll come with you.
Okay, 39 minutes into the show. We've got 20 minutes left, and the program has started on TNT. Now, Eddie Howe's just given an interview. Didn't quite catch what he said. I'll have to give that a watch after the game. Lots of speculation as to what the team formation might be. Nothing really confirmed on TNT yet, but we'll wait and see. They're busy talking about the Arsenal game and showing that goal. Yeah, look, tonight, big game, George. This really is, going to be an interesting one. We need to see what Newcastle United are going to do tonight with regards to the Champions League. Are they going to progress in this? Are they going to drop into the Europa? What's your feeling? What's your feeling and thoughts around this game tonight? This is pivotal, really. If Newcastle can pull off a win tonight and get 3 points, they, you know, depending on the result in the other game, they could have 1 foot in the final stages, George, because then they would probably need to beat Milan at home, and they'd be through into the knockout stages.
Well, my confidence isn't dented at all, and even more happy since I've seen that team, because Eddie's done his usual thought about how to counteract what they did at St James's, and that's why we've got the team we've got. So my confidence isn't dented at all. The one thing I look for when you look for a game is your team up for it? Will they last the 90 minutes and all of those sort of things? We're lucky. They're all positive. We all know that that's what they're good at. So you're going to get 90 minutes off them. I'd be very disappointed if we didn't come away with at least a draw, but I'm more confident than that. I think we actually could come away with the win, and it will be a narrow win, which you wouldn't expect anything else against that team. But hey, as I say, there's nothing I've seen that makes me think that we're in for a bad time tonight. They've settled down. They could easily sneak that game and take way into the next the knockout rounds. No bother.
Everybody's speculating. Nobody knows what the team is tonight. And I think the best thing about that, George, is Dortmund won't have a clue what the formation is.
No, absolutely.
Because we're all sitting here second guessing. People at home are second guessing. Is Trippier playing left back, or is he playing right back? Is Hall playing full back, or is he playing up front? Is Tino playing on the midfield? Nobody knows. That's the beauty. 1 or 2 players, you know where they're going to play. But this is a great. This could be an Eddie Howe masterclass. This, George.
Well, and more than that, because as I say, I've never ever seen a team set up to counteract a fullback. You know, the man marked the star striker and the star midfielder. They were man marking our right back, and that tells you where their thinking was. And to a degree, it worked for them. Well, they've got a lot more to think about, because if they mark Trippier, then Livramento's going to run wild, and Hall. So they really are. He really has made them think, and I think it's great, and a big positive for us. I'm still confident that we'll come away with this match with something, and I hope a narrow win at least.
Antagonising Geordie, I think you're right. It's an Eddie Howe chess match. He is definitely doing that tonight. Yeah, I mean the formation, Ian. It is going to be interesting. In half an hour, we'll know exactly what his plans are. But and when the game kicks off, but I think what George made a valid point earlier on as well. The 2 substitutes in particular on the bench, Almiron and Gordon, could come on and change the game. Ian, if it's not going our way, those 2 can come on and change things with a bit of pace and a bit of attacking.
At any point, they can come on at any point. You know, the one thing that people were saying, you know, season and a half ago was Eddie Howe's substitutions were obvious, and you know they were transparent. Everyone could see them, and they were, because he had no one to bring on, or very few players to bring on. Now, even with the injuries, you look, he has. Even with these kids on the bench, you know, if Lewis Miley came on, I know that people will hammer me for this, but he is a quality footballer, you know. We've got lads on the bench and we've got lads on the pitch with legs, and that's the one thing that I think that they're lacking. I don't think that they've got the legs that we've got. You know, the 2 centre backs, literally, you know, they're about as mobile as Spenny. You know what I mean? And after 6 pints, you know what I mean?
I'm quite fast when I go at the bar, mine.
Well, I've never noticed that. And, no, and I think, listen, whatever happens, I think he might just be playing a masterclass here, because all we do, the lot of us and everyone watching this, our hobby, you know, is Newcastle United. That's what we do. And if we haven't got a flipping clue what he's doing, they are not. They don't have a clue, are they? You know, so like, if they're going to mark one right back, which one are they going to mark?
Yeah.
You know, are they going to mark Trippier for his amazing deliveries and, you know, like, and his reading of the game, or are they going to mark Tino for the fact that he's going to he will go through any of them like a dose of salt. You know, like he is like that's one for you, George, from the olden days. That the dose of salt.
Yeah.
Just temper.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Ian. There's a good stat for you as well. From Dean on Twitter. Anthony Gordon scored 7 in 65 games at Everton in 6 years. He scored 5 goals in 25 for us in less than a year. The boy's going to be a massive player for us for years to come. I think that's a great stat. That and you know, it makes the money that we spent on him look a
whatever anybody says about him, you know, when he came in, you know, my Tommy was like, I don't want him. You know, he's nasty, and like, you didn't like him because he started on his trips, or you know what I mean, and all that. And I'm like, well, he's black and white now. He's a Geordie now. You know what I mean? Now he's Tommy's favourite player. You know, like he gives everything for the team, and we've got him sat on the bench waiting to come on. And I'm telling you what, when he comes on, he will want to prove a point. And he's been for me, I think, our best player this season, and that says a massive amount for him. You know.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Benny says the Dortmund team looks strange too, lining up with Sule at right back. He's very much a centre back, so they might have 3 at the back. Tom Dixon, thanks for sending us the team, but I'm not getting sucked into trying to pronounce that team, I'm afraid. Like, so
I know the last one.
Yeah, well, yeah.
By the way, that Schlotterbeck or whatever he's called, he had an absolute stinker the other day, did you see it?
Yeah.
You know, he was. You know, let's go into this the way that we should do. We're going to go in. We're going to give them a good game, and they're not going to like playing against us.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it could be a masterclass. Barry, you know, we've covered the team. Just for those of you tuning in a little bit late, is Pope, Trippier, Lascelles, Shaw, Hall, Gamares, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Livramento, Willock, and Wilson. And your substitutes tonight are Karius, Dubravka, Dummett, Lewis Miley, De Ball, Almiron, Gordon, and Parkinson. So, yeah, I mean, it's just trying to work out the formation tonight, isn't it? And as I said, if we don't know what it is, Dortmund are going to struggle as well until the game kicks off.
I think the biggest thing for me, the Dortmund game, everybody raves on about their home support and obviously the Yellow Army and all this, the flags behind the goal, that has an impact on whichever team goes to play there. Where our players aren't going to give us stuff. They've got a better display than that every time they play at home. It's not going to make any difference to us. It's just the norm. So we're going to go there and just expecting it to be like that anyway. I think, like you say, we've got a bit of a shock when we played them at home. They did get the better of us. But one thing I'm learning very quickly with Eddie Howe, that he doesn't let things lie. So he's gonna have all that planned ready to take them on and have a good go at them. And I think with the speed and the players that we've got, I think we could have them tonight quite easily. I think it's we're going to have to get through that opening 10-15 minutes where the noise is going to be absolutely hilarious from their fans. It's going to be like a proper European Cup game. And I think we've got a decent enough side to take them. I think it was a shock more than anything else at home because they weren't that good. We just personally, for me, we had an off day. We didn't play that well.
We had about twice, and you seen them at the weekend. They got done for 4 in transition, and that's with Kane up front, who's not even anywhere near as mobile as we are. All right, Wilson's not the fastest, but everybody else is. You know what I mean?
Munich turned them over quite easily, and their manager had an absolute dicky fit in the press afterwards. So the only thing is, will it swing back that they're going to have a good kick up the backside ready for this one? But I think we can turn them over. I have a horrible feeling it's going to be a draw. It's either going to be 2-1, 2-0, or 2s apiece, and I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be 2s apiece. But I'm hoping. But if not, like you guys said, I think
Alan wasn't on tonight.
Just a quick one as well. You know, Dave mentions no Kraft tonight. Just a reminder that Javier Manquillo, Emil Kraft, Matt Ritchie, and Mark Gillespie were the players who were omitted from Newcastle's Champions League squad this season, so can't be selected, unfortunately, despite the fact that Kraft and Ritchie have both played their part in in a couple of games. But yes, Benny, this formation's interesting. How do you think it's going to line up? How do you think that formation's going to look when the game
I
kicks
think
off?
Lewis will play up left on the left now. I've had a big think of it now. They put
Yeah.
Livramento on the left back and Willick on the right. I think that'll be the one where we go. To be honest, the way they're looking at that now, I think Livramento is going to be the one that's going to be left back in the next few games with Dan Burn and Taggart being out as well. So I think you want him settled in that position. To be honest, in the right back position and Trippier in the left back position. I think that'll be the way we'll go for the next few games anyway. After Bournemouth, you got Isaac and all them back, so
Yeah, got a couple of weeks.
A good couple of weeks, so it's a national break after Bournemouth, isn't it? So we've got a couple of weeks, so hopefully they'll be back by then.
Yeah, sounds like good news. Sounds like good news on Barnes as well. He looks like he's going to come back. Obviously, we've heard the news in the last 24 hours that Dan Burns going to be missing for 2 months with an injury to his spine after that bad fall against Arsenal. And as you already said, Matt Targett is out for 3 months now with a hamstring injury. So unfortunately, we're missing another 2 players. Jacob Murphy, of course, he came and played on Saturday and his shoulder popped out again. So I would imagine he's going to have some kind of surgery. I can't imagine them risking him again. So there's another player missing. But we will get players back. He's coming back in. Elliot Anderson will be back at some point. Botman will be coming back in.
We don't know yet. It's up in the air. You know what I mean? What we're going to do with Botman. But I can say he's beaten these very well, actually. I'm very confident. I was confident in Arsenal. When George mentioned earlier on, he put on that we can't say them beating us in that team we were playing. I think it was Man United, and I said we will win.
Yeah.
And then I think I did answer you back, and I said I think we will win because it's all about the team confidence.
Yeah.
The team we play now are not bothered about who they're playing.
No.
Yeah.
All they're bothered about is the performance they make. They do on the pitch. They're not bothered who the hell they're playing.
Yeah. I would agree. Okay, Spenny, we're with you. I just get this one in. Dortmund took advantage of the space left by Trippier when we tacked, created 3 to 4 chances. They will not get away with that tonight. Pressure is on them to win at home. We must remember, can we hit them on the break like Bayern did a few times? Of course, they lost 4-0. Harry Kane getting a hat-trick at the weekend. Benny, I've got to agree with you. I think Eddie has planned to stay in the game and throw Gordon and Miggy on late to rip them up when tired, which is what George said earlier on as well. And Derek says that the 2 young uns will rise to the occasion as they did at Old Trafford. I agree with that 100%. I think they will. Certainly, Hall and Livramento look the part, and I think they will show that they can play in the European stage as well as they can in the Carabao Cup and the Premier League. So yes, Benny, is this going to be a repeat, or is it going to be revenge tonight? And you think Newcastle's going to win this game?
I think Newcastle will win, and I think there'll be, for my mate over there, it was with George's son, Mr. Penman. I'm going for a Penman 3-1.
You're going for a Penman 3-1. Derek says he can see Dortmund parking the bus tonight. The last time they did that, they got a ticket. A big yellow bus, somebody says. Will Aquino is going to be vital tonight. Ian, I would agree. This is his chance to shine on the big Champions League stage as well. I would agree, Ian. So are you sticking with a draw then, Barry?
It's one of these ones. My heart's going to go with a 2-1 win.
Well, I'll do. Nice one. Nice to see you, Barry.
Yeah. Come on.
Batman's back.
Okay. Batman's going for a 2-1 win.
Come on.
What about you, Ian? How do you see this going? What's your heart saying? What's your head saying?
My heart's saying 2-1. My head's saying 3-1 bollocks to them. We're going to do them. Come on! I reckon, honestly, do you know what it is? I'm at that point now where I'm so happy with what they're doing. Like, whatever happens, I'm all right with it. One other thing I wanted to state was, everyone's going, this is a must win. If we don't win this, we don't go through. Absolute rubbish.
Rubbish, yeah.
Nobody comes to our place and bosses us. Milan are going to come to ours and they're going to think, because, we played for a point that day and we had to. But they'll come to St. James Park and they're not going to get the lickings of a dog off us. I think we can beat them. And to be honest, PSG, they're good on the day. but they don't like getting kicked, and we love kicking people. You know what I mean? So, like, let's have it. Whatever happens today, we can still go through. And if we don't go through and we come third, we go and we win the other cup. You know,
I think we 4 points. We need 4 points to qualify. There you go. That's what I think we'll get.
And I can't see us getting beat twice.
No.
There we are. But hey, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. We're so far ahead of where we should be. And all I look at now is I just think, do you know what it is? I love going and watching the team play. You know what I mean? You know, that's it. So whatever happens, you know they've done the best. You know, everyone knows we're under the cosh. We've got a lot of injuries. Who gives the monkeys? You know, let's go and flipping have it. You know what I mean?
Okay, George, repeat our revenge tonight.
Oh, revenge for me. I think it'll be a 2-0 win to Newcastle United. I just have that confident feeling that we'll go there, and the crucial stage of the game for me will be the last half hour, because I think they blew a little bit at St James's, and I think they'll blow again tonight. And that's when he'll release Gordon and Almiron to finally run the legs off them at the back, because Ian's right, the centre-backs were fairly ordinary. But just we just couldn't make head and tail of what was happening in midfield to release Wilson. And I just confident that we'll win, and I'm still sticking on 2-0.
Okay, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think Newcastle will win tonight. I think they've learned so much in that defeat at St James's Park. It was an awful night. The weather was awful. Newcastle weren't at their best. They got frustrated that night. They will have learned a big European lesson from that, I think. So I personally think they will win tonight. I think they'll come with they'll come with the right attitude. I do believe that the substitutions are made to win this game. But I think Dortmund feel the pressure tonight more than Newcastle, and I think we'll reverse the result. I think we will get a 2-1 win, and 1 point will be required to get through to the next stages. The pressure, coming off us slightly, and then we'll look ahead to Bournemouth. But great to be back live. Go on, George.
I'm just going to say, isn't it nice, lads, to be looking up there as to how high up the European Cup we can get, instead of looking down there where we're going into the second bloody division. Isn't it such a difference?
Gotta reach for the stars.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I wasn't going to sing that, Spenny. I was going to sing, we've got Bruno in the middle.
Mark,
I won't sing anymore because I don't want to cloud Steve here, because I know he likes to sing on the podcast. You know, right?
Thank you, brother. It'll be a 9.
Wait, Steve,
9-9 draw.
Mark
Bayes.
It'll be a 9-9 draw, says Mark. Tonali tips at 2-1, says Ian. And Gary says, great show in chat. Take care, everyone. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Great to be back live. We're back tomorrow night. Wednesday night, of course, is Geordie's here. Geordie's there. So George will be back again. Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Come and join me and the lads to pick the bones out of the latest Champions League results. Okay, take care, guys. Thanks to George. Thanks to Ian. Thanks to Barry.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you, lads. Good to see you.
Enjoy the game.
We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.